Welcome back to the channel, Cowboys Nation. If you're a diehard fan of the star, then today's episode is one you won't want to miss. We're diving into a shocking and controversial subject that has sparked heated debates across social media, podcasts, and sports talk shows nationwide. That's right, we're talking about the unthinkable, a potential Micah Parsons trade. Is it possible? Could the Dallas Cowboys really entertain moving their generational superstar linebacker? And if they did, what would his trade value even look like? Where could he land, and what would the Cowboys want in return? This video will explore it all in depth, from the rumors swirling behind the scenes to the top potential landing spots, and how such a move could reshape the future of the Cowboys franchise as well as the NFL as a whole. Micah Parsons isn't just any player. Since the moment he stepped onto the field in a Cowboys uniform, he's been a game changer. A force of nature. The kind of elite defensive talent that only comes along once in a generation. His speed, power, versatility, and relentless motor have made him one of the most feared defenders in the league. He's earned Pro Bowl honors, All-Pro nods, and has been a cornerstone of Dan Quinn's defense since day one. Parsons lines up all over the field, edge rusher, linebacker, sometimes even dropping into coverage. He's a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks, and he's already racked up accolades that would take most players a full career to achieve. So naturally, the idea of trading such a player sounds insane. But in the unpredictable world of NFL business, sometimes even the unthinkable must be considered. The Dallas Cowboys have entered the 2025 season with more questions than answers. Despite a talented roster and consistent regular season success, playoff failure continues to haunt the franchise. The pressure is mounting from fans, the media, and even within the organization to finally get over the hump and make a deep postseason run. But instead, this offseason has been filled with contract drama, front office friction, and now shockingly rumors that Parsons might not be untouchable after all. It all began with subtle comments from team insiders suggesting that not everyone in the Cowboys brass is aligned on Parsons' long-term role or his upcoming payday. Parsons is due for a massive contract extension, and based on the market for elite defenders, that number could soar past $30 million per year. That's where the business side of the NFL gets tricky. The Cowboys are already tight against the salary cap, and with big decisions looming on Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and others, there's growing speculation that Dallas might not be able to keep everyone. If the Cowboys prioritize offense or decide to build differently on defense, moving Parsons, while drastic, could become a chess move for the future. And let's be clear, if Micah Parsons is even remotely available, the entire league would line up to call. He's that valuable. So let's dive into what a potential trade would even look like, who could be interested, and how the Cowboys would respond. First, let's talk trade value. What is Micah Parsons worth on the open market? Simply put, a king's ransom. We're talking about multiple first-round picks, elite-level players, and possibly more. Think about what the Bears got for trading the number 1 pick to Carolina. Think about the massive haul Denver gave up to get Russell Wilson. Now amplify that. Because Parsons is young, elite, and still under team control for now. Any team trading for him would be acquiring a defensive cornerstone for the next decade. Analysts suggest that if the Cowboys put Parsons on the block, the asking price would start at 2 first-round picks, a second-rounder, and a young player with Pro Bowl upside. That's how high the bar is. So who could afford that? Let's break down the top potential trade destinations. First up, the Houston Texans. With C.J. Stroud emerging as a franchise quarterback, the Texans are suddenly a contender. But their defense needs a superstar, and Parsons could be that final piece. They've got draft capital, cap space, and a coach in D'Amico Ryans who would know exactly how to unleash Parsons in an aggressive scheme. Then there's the New York Jets. If Aaron Rodgers is healthy and the Jets are truly going all in, what better way to cement a Super Bowl push than by pairing Parsons with Sauce Gardner and Quinn and Williams? That defense would be terrifying, and with all the pressure on the Jets to win now, they could be desperate enough to pay the price. Another team to watch is the Baltimore Ravens. They already have a tough, fast defense, but imagine Parsons added to the mix with Roquan Smith. That linebacker duo would dominate the AFC, and with Lamar Jackson locked in on a long-term deal, Baltimore could take a swing at greatness. The Chicago Bears also make sense. They have the draft picks, the financial flexibility, and a defensive-minded coach in Matt Eberflus. Adding Parsons could instantly change the narrative around the Bears and give them a defensive identity they haven't had since the days of Brian Urlacher and Lance Briggs. But one of the most intriguing options? The Detroit Lions. Yes, the Lions. With Jared Goff steady at quarterback, a great offensive line, and one of the best young coaches in Dan Campbell, Detroit is on the verge of something big. They need a superstar on defense, and Parsons would fit the culture and bring the fire. The Lions also have assets and cap room to make a big move if they believe it puts them over the top. That would be a bold, headline-grabbing trade that could alter the balance of power in the NFC. Of course, all of this is speculation for now. No official reports have confirmed that Parsons is being actively shopped. But when there's smoke, especially in the NFL, there's often fire. The Cowboys front office has been notoriously tight-lipped, but some insiders claim there's tension brewing behind closed doors. Questions about whether Parsons is more interested in personal brand building than team-first mentality have been whispered, and even if those rumors are overblown, perception matters in today's NFL. Teams don't just trade players based on talent, they factor in locker room fit, leadership, long-term flexibility, and chemistry. If Dallas is truly considering a post-Parsons era, it would represent a seismic shift in team philosophy. Let's also not ignore the financial side. If the Cowboys decide to extend Dak Prescott, pay CeeDee Lamb top receiver money, and rebuild the offensive line, someone has to be the odd man out. And unfortunately, even a generational talent like Micah Parsons isn't immune to those realities. If a team like Detroit, Baltimore, or Houston offers the Cowboys a mountain of picks and young talent, Jerry Jones might decide that the best path forward is to get value while he still can. After all, NFL history is filled with teams that refused to trade a star when his value was highest and later regretted it. But if the Cowboys do trade Parsons, the fallout would be enormous. Fans would erupt. Sports media would go into a frenzy. Every move after that would be scrutinized tenfold. Dallas would have to hit on every draft pick, find a new defensive identity, and pray that the locker room doesn't implode. Trading Micah would send a message not just about salary cap management, but about how this franchise views its future. It would either be seen as a masterstroke of strategic vision or one of the biggest mistakes in franchise history. On the flip side, there's the possibility that all of this is just off-season noise. That the Cowboys are merely using these rumors to gauge the market, apply pressure during contract negotiations, or simply remind everyone who really holds the power. Parsons has said he wants to be a Cowboy for life, and Jerry Jones has publicly praised him as a cornerstone. But actions speak louder than words. Until that extension is signed, sealed, and delivered, everything is on the table. So, Cowboys fans, where do you stand? Would you be willing to trade Micah Parsons for a boatload of picks and players if it meant reshaping the future? Or do you believe that no matter the cost, elite defensive talent like Parsons must be kept at all costs? It's a debate that will continue to rage throughout training camp and beyond. The Cowboys are at a crossroads. Their decisions over the next few months will determine whether they rise or fall in the NFC. Thanks for watching, and if you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Dallas Cowboys updates, rumors, and breaking news. We'll keep you posted on everything happening behind the scenes at the Star. Until next time, stay passionate, stay loyal, and we'll see you in the next video.